Hello, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. This is your tarot reading for the week ahead whenever you're finding this. If you're watching along as I post because you're subscribed, this is for the week of February 3rd through the 9th, 2025. Cancer, what is in store for you this week? We're going to make this a quick general read for you guys, so that way you can watch for all of your important signs. Cancer, first card out is the Empress. Wow. There is a strong flow of abundance and prosperity in your life right now. All around you seems to be in a growth state, in a blooming and blossoming state. You know exactly what you need to do in order to get back to a state of mental abundance. So what that means is, like, you can feel yourself becoming dysregulated. You can feel yourself going back to that place mentally where you are stressed or struggling, panicking over what you don't have, whether that's like the money you don't have, the time you don't have, etc. And when you find yourself in that state, you're very consciously aware, and it's like you go back to focusing on the abundance. And you may have some things that you do in order to get there. Maybe it's like, I'm feeling dysregulated, I'm going to go take a nice bath, and like a deep bath, like deeply clean everything, and or I'm going to go and get a massage, or I'm going to go and work out, because when I don't work out, I start to get this way. I'm going to make myself a home-cooked meal. These very simple physical things that you do in order to return back to center, you do it. And I'm seeing a shift in your mindset moving into this week where, you know, maybe for a little bit you got caught up in that sort of lack mentality where you were worrying about what you don't have yet, or what's no longer in your life, but you're returning back to your Empress state where everything blossoms and blooms around you. It's your magic. So for some of you, you may have been lacking some growth, like in terms of your goals or personal developments, and it's like you return back to that insane growth state, which is very optimistic. And look at that, right next to that we have the Three of Cups. There is a celebration, there's abundance all around you. We see a harvest here around these three people. Okay, wealth, this represents prosperity, riches. They're coming together to celebrate life itself, success itself. So there could be some really cool get-togethers this week that feel beautiful, you know, connecting with people who make you feel very loved. There's good communication. You may be going out to see a friend. They may be coming over to see you. Family get-togethers, things like that are looking very strong. Your community is looking very strong. And look, we have the number 3 twice so far. The number 3 in numerology rules over personal and creative growth. Okay, expansion. It's not a number that sits still. It is a number that grows the positive things in life. So you are in a very beautiful growth state this week. And also group get-togethers may be significant. So that's very, very beautiful. Let's see, Cancer, we have oh my gosh, the Three of Swords, 333. Wow. Angel number 333 is very significant. Now, the Three of Swords, this does represent an ending. Okay, so it's an interesting combination here because you are in a growth state. There is quite an abundance moving around you, but you're also keeping yourself at this higher perspective of thinking, because there will be endings that come in this week. I'm just being honest with you. The Three of Swords upright, it's an ending. But you're handling it beautifully. You're acknowledging, you know, that's okay. This is okay that this is happening. It is the cycle of life. With all of this new growth around me, some older things are bound to die back a little bit. I don't know why I just got the vision in my head. You may have a plant die. I know that's so weirdly specific, but someone watching here, this could be as simple as a plant dying. And you're just like, you know what? That's life. We can't have it all. RIP. And you move along, you know? But yeah, there could be some loss that you experience this week. You're handling it beautifully. And from this perspective of beauty, actually, like, that is life. You know, there's beauty in loss. There's beauty in death. There's beauty in endings, doors closing, because as doors close, new ones open simultaneously. So you're acknowledging that. We have the Six of Swords coming out in reverse underneath that Empress card here. Okay. there could be a family member who is very emotionally unregulated. They have their high highs, their low lows. If any of you have like I know this may be a strong word, like a psychotic sort of person in your life, like especially a family member, or they just say and do things that are out of pocket, they may be doing that again this week. And it doesn't feel like a big deal. This is a minor arcana card. So it's like, live and let live. You're at the point with this person where you expect nothing less. So I'm just saying that could be something that comes up for you this week. Right next to that Six of Swords, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. This lack. Yes, this is what we were describing. And it feels like you were in this perspective of being a little bit on an emotional roller coaster. It feels like before this week that we're reading on happened, like maybe the previous week, you may have felt like you were on an emotional roller coaster. Okay, because it feels like you're in a very transitionary state in life right now, going from one environment that's very unstable to something much more stable and long-term and healthy for you. But, the transition of that, you still have to mourn the change. There's still some challenging emotions that can come up, even when we have change happening that's very positive, leaving our comfort zone. Releasing our comfort zone, saying goodbyes. They're always a little sad, even if what you're saying goodbye to isn't good for you anyways, So in previous weeks, you may have been, experiencing some emotional highs and lows, some emotional turbulence. And you may have found yourself going back to that state of lack, feeling very alone, like I have no one, or I have not enough here, right? But this week is all about mastering your ability to get back to center, get back to that state of abundance. Spirit says, if all else fails, do that. If all else is neglected in your life, prioritize keeping yourself mentally and emotionally in that state of feeling centered and regulated and focusing on what is, focusing on the present moment in a very practical sense. Like instead of worrying, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough friends, I don't have this, I don't have that, focus on what you do have right in front of you. And there's so many examples I could give of this. Like I'll give a personal example. I just moved out into the middle of nowhere. I've lived in the city my whole life. I moved out into the middle of nowhere. And I can sit here and cry about no longer living in a walkable town and not having any friends, or I can embrace this new chapter and view this space as a good thing. Like, well, this is space for me to just really dive headfirst into my creative projects and ideas, and it's a blessing that I have this space and this quiet, But if I am clinging on to the old form, my old life, where every day there was social interaction, every day there was noise and life around me, if I try clinging onto that, it will create depression, because that's not my present day reality. That's the past. And if I embrace where I'm at currently and all that it offers, then I will be extremely happy. I'll be in this Empress state of mind. So that's an example. That's a personal example, my example. What is your example with this? Because you have the Three of Swords. There is clearly some sort of ending that you've gone through or are going through. And, if you keep trying to hold on to that mentally, and it feels like a subconscious process also, like holding on mentally to what is being released in your life, it will create some mental turbulence, some emotional turbulence, and a sense of lack. And Spirit is saying, what is right in front of you? What is the positive, the pros of what's in front of you? Every environment in life, every city, every relationship, everything has pros and cons. That's what I always say. Like, it doesn't matter where you live. Everywhere has pros and cons. You can live in a really great neighborhood, but the cost of living is ridiculously high. You can live in a neighborhood where nothing's going on ever, and the cost of living is low. You know what I mean? Like, you can live in a high crime area, but you can really afford your apartment and save up a lot of money. Everywhere has pros and cons. Everything has pros and cons. And to be in the abundant state of mind, it doesn't matter what you have or don't have. It doesn't matter where you're at in life. You could be a one-legged prostitute living on the streets, and you could still be in the abundance mindset by focusing on the pros of where you are currently at in this present moment. Because the fabric of the universe itself is neutral, is light, and the absence of light is pro and con, masculine, feminine, etc., etc., etc. We live in this duality It is written into the mathematics of our existence. And so you can use your conscious free will to tap into the positive, the light, the love that is in your present day reality. I don't care if you have no money. I don't care if you are terminally ill. I don't care what the heck's going on in your life. You can tap into this Empress energy right here, right now. And Spirit is saying this week you're doing that. And if all else fails, just keep practicing returning to center, returning to your inner peace, and tapping into that present moment energy, because that will keep you enlightened. That will keep you in this state of nirvana that they teach in Buddhism. You know, you don't need to reach your goals in order to achieve inner peace. That is the whole premise of so many spiritual teachings and practices. And Spirit, for some reason, just wants you to maintain that spiritual enlightenment. Practice being in there and returning back to that space whenever you find yourself going out of it. Practice that this week and continue practicing that. We have the 8 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, right underneath that 3 of Swords. This confirms what we were just saying, where something is ending in your life. An old life of yours is coming to a close. I'm a Cancer myself, so I told you my example of how this resonates with me. I just moved. I moved away from my old life that I'm used to. What is your example? What are you walking away from? Because you're being asked to really embrace the newness and the pros of where you are currently at, okay? And celebrate that. Be in this Empress 3 of Cups energy and making the most of what you have right in front of you right now, instead of longing for the past or the old patterns, rhythms, and routines of life, or even a future that you don't have yet, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely watch for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs to get the fullest overview of this week ahead, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.